Today's America's Cup Racing is brought to you by Emirates.
The first to 7 race wins will hold the old mug aloft. Emirates Team New Zealand, the defender, get first points in the opening race of the match.
I believe the fastest boat will win the America's Cup.
Emirates Team New Zealand being left in the wake of Luna Rossa.
What we've got is a really close yacht race. It's definitely shaping up to be a pretty interesting series.
Finally, one team has a clean advantage. Luna Rossa, Prada Cup have a mountain to climb to stay in the match. All Emirates Team New Zealand need is one more race win, and they win the 36th edition of the America's Cup.
Well, the plan doesn't really change for us. You know, we're just continuing to improve the boat and improve the way we sail it.
Defender, Emirates Team New Zealand, 6 wins. Luna Rossa, Prada Cup 3.
The scoreline doesn't lie. These guys won the only race of the day.
We're going to see what the Italians are made out of now.
We live to see another day, and we're looking forward to getting out there.
They certainly threw everything at us.
Jimmy Spithill at his best with just a really aggressive match racing move.
We threw everything at them as well, and really at the end of the day it could have gone either way.
Emirates Team New Zealand are one step closer to winning the America's Cup.
There'll be no towel to throw in.
It's 6-3.
The gloves will come off, we'll come out swinging.
We all know the story of Jimmy Spithill and how he came back in San Francisco.
A very wise man and a good friend of mine said once, imagine what a story would be if they lose from here.
Passion is a powerful motivator, and as Team New Zealand know, the comeback is always on.
There's quite a lot of us at Emirates Team New Zealand that have been 1 point away from winning the America's Cup previously, so we've seen the movie before, and it's never over till it's over.
Tēnā koutou katoa. Welcome to Aotearoa, New Zealand. Welcome to Day 7 of the 2021 America's Cup match on the waters of the Waitemata Harbour. Yesterday, both teams produced the race of the match so far. But going to the last leg, the defender got a break and pounced, putting themselves one race away from winning the old mug. For Luna Rossa, the equation is now simple. They must win at all costs. A quick check of the points table tells the full story. The Italians cannot afford to lose a race. If they do, the battle for the 36th America's Cup Race Series is over. Let's head to the course. Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli has port. Emirates Team New Zealand are on starboard.
Big committee boat. At the moment we're wide right.
Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli are into the pre-start. Emirates Team New Zealand firing in as well from the starboard. They are coming into the pre-start. Here we go.
Jimmy Spithill just gave us a feel for the starting line and their strategy there, Nathan. He said big weather end or committee boat favor, right-hand end favor, and they're already thinking wide right.
So as the lead boat, you know, they're on port, they're leading away. How are they actually going to get that right-hand side? Because they're going to be the first ones to turn back. So very interesting here. I expect if they want to be wide and right, they're going to turn back later than normal.
For sure.
Is he down now?
Down.
He drive.
And he's just gliding into a jibe right now. The real question is New Zealand going to jump them, or are they going to tack and push from above?
Posting there. Ports around up there. One, put down.
Pull the way up. Pull the way up.
New Zealand does not fall for it. They both want the right-hand side.
All good on him.
Luna Rossa was barely trying to jibe. They weren't trying to jibe, and the Kiwis didn't let them do it.
So now he's going to try and shut them out. Jimmy Spittle's going to try and shut them out, but Peter Burling looks like he's got plenty of speed. Let's just hear the onboard comms. This is a critical moment in this race.
No risk of being late, I think.
Okay, 0 on 10.
Yeah, we can see him.
1, good one. Down to a single.
I'll give you a little kiss here.
Here comes the push.
Kiwis are in an interesting spot here. 25 seconds to go.
Yeah, going speed. Up again, please. Yeah. Trim. Easing Lenny on those, brother. He's fully downwind here. He's fully downwind. Take a bumper's line. Yeah. Almost all the way here. Nice, guys. Good. Time to speed here, Pete. Watch that. Go. 2, 1.
It's on. Race 10 of the America's Cup Match 2021. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli, defender, Emirates Team New Zealand.
Key moment in the race. They wanted the right hard there. They actually came in late and didn't mind starting tight. The Kiwis didn't, knowing that they would be tacking soon after. We're going to have to wait a couple minutes for the first cross. These boats are going to go to the edges of the course and come back together. That's when we'll know the verdict of who won the start. Surely this is reminiscent of that critical cross yesterday where they sound like they're in a big right-hand shift out there.
Yeah, it's gone to 60 degrees and the course, I think, set up at 45. So just at start time, massive 15-degree right-hand shift. We're on the right-hand side of the Kiwis. Also, to me, there's always more pressure over here. So great call by the Kiwis, got the shift and the pressure.
On the way back here, Joshy. Just knocking here, guys.
There's not going to be much into it, Nathan, but it looks like first cross, first blood to the Kiwis. Starboard tack advantage coming from the top of the screen.
But what side are they going to protect? Are they going to tack and hit them, or are they going to let them go to the right-hand side?
Pressure straight ahead. Pressure up. Offshore in general.
So Team New Zealand cover there. They want to protect that right-hand side. They got first blood out of the right-hand side. They've now got a small lead. And they're forcing Prada back out to the left-hand side of the course. Let's go to Freddie in the sky. What do you see as we go up the track, mate?
Yeah, the same as what we saw before the start. The better mixed pressure is left middle, where Prada are heading to now. And the shift is obviously still right. They're still talking about the right-hand shift. At the windward mark right now, the best breeze on the course is coming down left middle.
We have been critical of Peter Burling's starts throughout the series, but I got to tell you what, that took guts to know that you were going to start what we call tight right and bail into it, attack right away. They had a strategy, and he pulled it off. Very good job by Peter Burling.
Top left better, so maybe see how it is. Right.
Just heard Blair Chuk say top left is a little bit better. So they're seeing what Freddie and the helicopter's seeing at the moment. You can see this lead difference is very, very similar. Those angles out the front indicate the angle the boat's traveling at. New Zealand are attack ahead here, so when Luna Rossa attack right now, you expect that this lead that Luna Rossa have artificially right now might drop a bit. But if that's a left-hand shift, we might see a lead change here. Very close between these two boats at the moment.
We are on leg 1 of 6 in a critical race 10 of the 2021 America's Cup match.
Left shift back to Prada. What are they going to do? Can they leave bow, or are they going to have to duck?
We're going 1 for right. I mean, 1 for right. I'm very happy with the bridge on the bow.
Coming up, boys.
Good gain to Luna Rossa. I think this is the first time, Nathan, we've seen the Kiwis ahead and they haven't just simply stretched away. Luna Rossa keeping it tight.
Copy that on the downwind. Just got a little bit lower heel. Nothing. Starting to knock you. Real good phaser. Yeah.
Emirates Team New Zealand through the top gate for the first time. 1 leg of 6 completed. They will lead Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli around on the first downwind leg in this race. Tight margins.
Surely it seems a little bit shiftier than we've seen in the past out on this course. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And also up and down in speed and velocity, you know, 10 knots up to 14 knots. So big patches of light wind, which is making a massive difference to performance.
Emirates Team New Zealand with a lead that sits at around 230 odd metres in front of Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. The equation for Luna Rossa is quite simple. They must win this race. They must chase down Emirates Team New Zealand. They will have fans on the edge of their seat early in the morning in Italy, and crowd here, the Italian fans will be praying for something to happen, but you get the feeling the numbers outweigh them when it comes to crowds. Kiwi fans are poised to pop the champagne corks, but count the Italians out at your peril. We'll be back with more action after the break. Race 10. Will this be the last of the 36th America's Cup? Emirates Team New Zealand has a commanding lead, but Jimmy Spittle is renowned for his combative spirit, and it isn't over until it's over. Let's head back to the racecourse.
Team New Zealand jibing to get in sync here right now, so both boats look like they're heading towards the same mark. I think there's been a really good gain here by Luna Rossa on this run.
This is one of the very first runs we've seen that Luna Rossa has hung in there or even gained.
Emirates Team New Zealand once again leading Luna Rossa around the bottom gate for the first time. They'll complete 2 legs of 6, 4 to go.
Stuck a little stuck here on Emirates Team New Zealand. Not their best jibe and best rounding. A wide rounding going around it.
But that's that's a bad rounding by Prada there.
To me, it looked like they went for the 2 boards down, ready for that JK turn. Really early and quite a light phase as well, and it was just too long, hanging there too deep with the 2 boards down and really, really slowed down. It was a big loss.
You can see Peter Burling's getting very aggressive now, isn't he? He's just got that little bit of a lead out. You can see on this graphic here that white trail behind the boats is the bad air. It looks like Luna Rossa is sailing just to leeward of that graphic. It's very hard to give your competitor bad air, but I think Peter Burling is saying to his boys, let's shut the race down. Let's not give him a chance to get back into this. If you're a Kiwi fan watching this right now, you're starting to get a little bit excited.
Flags a big right at the top there.
Emirates Team New Zealand about to complete 50% of race number 10. They have completed 3 legs of 6. We'll round that top gate and head back down on leg number 4.
He'll be taking right turn in about 15 seconds.
They can feel it. Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli finally through the top gate, taking the right-hand mark. And that lead has lengthened 27 seconds in favour of Emirates Team New Zealand.
Coming down on this.
No deeper beach. He won't make that. Happy right.
Emirates Team New Zealand, the defender of the America's Cup, heading in to complete leg number 4 of race number 10. They are 2 legs away from winning the Cup.
Good rest when you can, 37. That was a good one, boys.
Emirates Team New Zealand sailing very fast, and looks like they've stretched their lead once again. Just a couple of extra seconds on that downwind, but
Good JK here.
Going to drop the ball during the turn, though. Okay, slow turn up.
Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli have always said they are in the fight and they will stay in the fight. And they are still in the fight. They're 37 seconds adrift of Emirates Team New Zealand. I thought the telling moment at the press conference last night from Jimmy Spiller says there aren't going to be any towel thrown in. We are here to go all the way.
We go back to the start of this race, and Peter Burling, both in the press down here and in this booth, has been really having a hard time, taking a hard time in these pre-starts. They had a plan in that pre-start, and they pulled it off. I give him all kinds of credit.
No, you're 100% there, and there's a lot of pressure on the helmsman of any of these boats. And there's a lot of people watching the racing today, and he would love nothing more than to execute a start and lead from the beginning of the race right through. And so far, so good.
No quitting in the Italian boat. I'll tell you what, the same communication, that same level of communication, the cadence on board the boat, absolutely zero quit, no sense of panic, but the clock is certainly running on them right now. Course A has not produced a pass yet. You have to win the start. The Kiwis went for it at the start, and it worked. And by the way, the Italians wanted that start, and the other guys took it away. Good for them.
A 500-plus metre advantage to Emirates Team New Zealand.
Definitely this mark's good with the big right here. Yeah, probably just carry on the boundary. Nice angle there.
Emirates Team New Zealand heading the top gate for the very last time. Sailing this magnificent flying machine called Te Rehutai. They'll round the gate, head downwind for the very last time, and one feels pretty sure the party's about to start.
Never know. You never know. But man, if you're a betting person right now, which of course we're not, looking kind of good for the Kiwis right now.
Average breeze coming to the front edge of it. I wonder about maybe taking. Still happy here for a little bit. Your call. Happy all the way.
2, 1, clear. Yours.
Nathan, we've talked a lot in this event about the fastest boat always wins the America's Cup. There's been a lot of talk about pretty even boats, et cetera, et cetera. To me, there's been no question. As this series has gone along, and we even mentioned this early on, the Italians had to put them away early. The Kiwis have gotten better. They've gotten race tougher. They've gotten better. And the faster boat is about to win the America's Cup.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think Luna Rossa put up a really strong fight at the beginning. They were starting well, executing everything well, but you kind of got the feeling as this event was going on that the faster boat was gaining momentum. These guys were starting to find modes in that boat that they needed to combat another boat. When you're sailing around on your own for 2 or 3 years, it's hard to know what mode to sail, but they lined up with Luna Rossa early on in this event, and they're finding modes that they didn't know they had. And as always, the fastest boat wins the America's Cup, and we're seeing that right now.
It has been a mighty challenge from Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli, but in the end, you come into this final match race, as it turns out to be, needing 4 wins in a trot, and they have been, well, we have to call it, don't we? They were outsailed at the start, and that was the difference. Peter Burling did what he needed to do in the match race that mattered. Emirates Team New Zealand are on track to add another memorable chapter to the America's Cup history book. Let's remember their sailing odyssey, this Cup Odyssey, is only 34 years young. That Odyssey from Fremantle would turn into Obsession. And then it would come to 1995 that Team New Zealand finally got their hands on sailing's holy grail, becoming just the 2nd country to win the Cup from outside of America. In 2000, they prevailed to all comers, but unable to follow up in 2003. 21 years after their first successful defence on home waters, Emirates Team New Zealand do it again in a new class of boat that proves Kiwis can fly. Sailing's most treasured prize, the America's Cup, stays in New Zealand.
Yes, boy. Enjoy the moment, boys. Well done.
Well, if you're going to log a date, in the memory banks. It's quite a simple one. St. Patrick's Day 2021, March 17, Emirates Team New Zealand win the 36th edition of the America's Cup. On board the victorious Emirates Team New Zealand and their helmsman Peter Burling. Pete, congratulations. You just won an America's Cup again. How does it feel?
Oh, mate, absolutely unreal. And, you know, I think coming back to the chase boat and just seeing all the people involved in this campaign over 3 or so years, you know, how many Kiwis are out here supporting the event again. You know, we've had messages from everyone from the Prime Minister to high school kids to, you know, just about anyone you can think of support, and it just means the world to us as a team. You know, we're obviously absolutely blown away by being able to achieve what we have as a group and win another America's Cup, but it's just been the most amazing experience along the way.
Yeah, hey, Pete, we've got Jimmy Spittle and Francesco Bruni listening in. Would you like to say something to the lads?
Yeah, congrats on a great series. You know, it's obviously been really hard fought, and really love racing against you guys. I think, you know, from all of us here at Team New Zealand, we'd just like to say, you know, well done and great racing. Thanks again.
Thank you, Pete. Thank you.
Let's go on board Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli with Jimmy Spittle and Francesco Bruni. Francesco, hard luck, valiant effort, fantastic series that Luna Rossa, Prada Pirelli delivered to everybody in the sailing world. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's been a fantastic experience. I would just want to congratulate first with Team New Zealand, obviously. They've done a fantastic job. But I think also I need to congratulate with Luna Rossa, an amazing team. I think we proved to the world that we could do it. And yeah, it's been hard luck in the last couple of days, but definitely, I mean, we've done, I think, a great job as a team.
Francesco, thank you so much for your time. We'll go across to have a quick chat to Jimmy. Jimmy, it's one of those days for a team that said they would never stop fighting. You guys never stop fighting.
No, it's an incredible team, and really the whole campaign. I really just can't thank the entire team, especially the guys that are on the shore. The first priority now is really to get ashore, thank our teammates, you know, our fans, our families, all our supporters, and then take it from there. Obviously, we need to go have a beer with the Kiwis and really pay respect to those guys. But yeah, first things first, got to go and thank all of our teammates who have really just made such a huge amount of effort for us to allow us to get out here and fight it out in the America's Cup.
Jimmy, thanks for your time. Thanks for being a good sport too.
Thanks very much, guys. Grazie, Italia.
There's the scorecard. Race 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And Emirates Team New Zealand win the America's Cup. Emirates Team New Zealand are on their way home to a reception and a trophy presentation that's going to go on long into the evening here on March the 17th, 2021 in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland. The Italians gave it their all, but Emirates Team New Zealand were too slick, too fast, too tough, and too dominant. They have sailed into sporting folklore, defended the old mug, and given Kiwi fans an excuse to party all night. The 36th America's Cup is over.
Today's America's Cup Racing is brought to you by Mum Champagne.